Good evening, everyone. How is everyone tonight? All right, I should be live on YouTube. Welcome to Technique Tuesday. I am Paula McCoy, owner of Colors for Earth. Tonight, we are going to do a presentation on using the Quill Pen with some of our glass products. So I've got, actually what I did was I pre-recorded something so that I would stay on track. You guys know me. Sometimes I'm not always on track. I get distracted. Hey, Teresa. So hello everyone on YouTube. Still waiting on Facebook to join. So let's give it just a minute or two and see if I can just save that. Oh, Lordy. I may have just messed that up. Hi, Debbie. Give me just a second. I'm trying to get Facebook up and going. Sometimes it has a mind of its own. We'll see if it'll connect tonight. Okay. I think it's going to. Here we go. All right. Hey, Susan McGarry. How are you? All right. So, as I was saying, welcome to Technique Tuesday. Hopefully, everything will go without any problems tonight. Let's hope. Cross your fingers. Um, it's been a little crazy in my world, so I apologize for not being on. There's been some family things going on. So anyway, tonight I have pre-recorded. I think it's like 23 minutes to show you the technique. I also will show more after that, and we'll kind of talk about why one versus the other. So what I showed in the photograph was you can do your quill pen with color concentrates. You can use designers, and you can use the silkscreen white or black. Of course, any color of any of those products. But when you try, and the most common question is, can you do it with the enamels? It's extremely hard because the enamels have glass frit in them, really, really finely ground. And trying to get that to flow through a pen is just almost impossible. If you want to sit and work at it, sure, go for it. But it just is not worth my time doing it with those. And I find that I can get a better result with the other products out there. So, okay, so welcome everyone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start that video and then I will answer questions in the chat, hopefully, while that's going. And then we'll come back and we'll do some live questions, okay? And of course, hold on. Of course, my buttons didn't work. 1 second. Let's hope this, there we go. If you can't hear the, when I start talking, be sure and let me know, okay? Okay, for this piece, I want to show you how you can take a pattern, do line work with a quill pen, and I'm going to use color concentrate CC 102 Glacier White. So what I'm going to do is put some in this little cup so that I can dip into it with the pen. So the whole key thing is there is a little oval there on the top. Can you see? You can see the opening there. Okay, so your product needs to get up above there so that it can funnel down. So you need something that's shallow, but you need to have enough area where you can get that product in there. And I'm going to just show you on this color so you can see it. So once you have the product on the pen, you need to touch the surface and kind of let the teeth open up. See, there's like teeth there. And then you start. Okay, so let it open up and then you can start moving from there. Okay. All right. And I may have to thin this a little bit. I did not. I just used it straight from the bottle. You need to shake. I'm going to do one of these samples with the CC White, and then I'm going to do another one um, with another product. And that way we can compare. You have to go fairly slow with it, and I'm going to zoom in. And of course you can add, I'm going to add just a drop of water to that and kind of mix it up. We have the little ink jars. I don't have one out here, so I decided just to use this. So it takes a minute to get it going. I think you can kind of see it there. So I'm going to add more detail than what is on here. I'm just going to kind of ad-lib it, freehand it. Sometimes, like I said, this is a brand new nib. And the nib is this part here that fits into the handle. We sell the Quill Pens on the website. It comes with 2 different sizes of nibs, a 99 and a 512, and this one is the 512. I like it. 99 is smaller. Like I said, sometimes it takes a bit to kind of get it going, and then keeping it consistent on the surface, getting it to do what you want. Takes a little practice, but don't let that discourage you. Just keep working at it, and you see how often. I probably should thin it down a little bit more. So I'm going to add some additional lines, and I'm going to make them different lengths. Some long, some short. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and thin this a little bit more. I'm going to rinse off my nib just to make sure there isn't any thicker product on there. See, it's flowing much nicer, so I just had to get the right consistency. So we have 3 different options as far as using white. This is a color concentrate, which is a non-enamel, meaning it has no glass in it. Therefore, it will be a matte finish when fired. It's made for the ceramic part of my business, for pottery and ceramics. So it's not made to go on glass. Therefore, it doesn't have any glass in it. There's a little spot on the glass. I'm having a heck of a time. It's like a bump. Um, so it'll be a matte finish. All you have to do to make it food safe and shiny is to sift clear powdered frit over the top of it. Darker colors sometimes require a little extra sifting. You can always, if you don't get enough on the first firing, you can always add more, or you cap it and come back and fire a second time. If you don't cap this, like I said, it'll be a matte finish. And you could use it like on jewelry and it wouldn't matter. But anything that might have a utensil or, like I said, food surface, it's a good idea to sift over just so that you have all your everything covered. So this is the color concentrates, or CC enhancers. We refer to them in the glass side of the business. You can also use the designer white, which I'll show you another piece that I did. The designers are the pigment that we put in our products. And so this you can just mix with your glass medium and do the same thing. Works really, really well. It's really nice and white. We also have the silkscreen white that you can use. The silkscreen white is an enamel, but we've added more of that pigment to it to make it stronger white. I would definitely make sure that you sift clear powdered frit or fire it and then come back and cap it later. Don't cap it on the first firing because it's so strong with pigments. It needs for that to fire out of it. You can sift over it and get away with it because you still got little pockets that the organic stuff can fire out, but I would not cap it, but I would sift over it. All right, so I'm just going to add some of those fine little lines coming out from the middle. Turning your work as you go. That'll make it easier to do your strokes. This dries fairly quickly. I can feel it dragging against that other area that I put some. Okay, so just continue to add as much detail as you want. The minimum temperature is 1380, but full fuse is recommended. And you can find patterns. Gosh, the coloring book patterns, there's patterns everywhere. Like I said, I just kind of drew this one up and then I'm embellishing with the fine lines where I want more detail. Okay, so like I said, you can add as much detail. This just makes it, it's like a pen and ink type. So let's say you don't think you can paint, but you like to write or doodle. This is a way that you could create some designs. You can do this on one side of your glass, flip it over, paint on the other side. So there's many, many things you can do. You can also stamp on glass with this product with the color concentrates. So maybe, like, again, if you're not a per se artist, you might find other ways to use the products in an artsy way that requires no skill of painting. So be sure and check out my other videos. I have tons of different YouTube videos, and they're categorized in playlist to make it a little easier to find things. So whether you're looking for glass or you're looking for color concentrates, which is what this product is called, on glass, you can go to that playlist and see everything that we've done. All right, I'm going to pull some lines in here because they technically go off of the side of the glass. And then I'll show you what this looks like on top of the blue. All right, I'm not going to do those partials there. All right. So just swish that in water and then just clean it completely. Don't leave it in water. It could rust. Okay. So there's what that would look like. Very elegant. It would be great on jewelry. I can see so many things because you could do this on one side and then you could turn it over and encase it. Or you can leave it on the top and you can sift clear powdered frit over it. Okay. All right. I'm going to be back in a minute and I'm going to get some product prepared for this next one and show you how it works. Okay. So this is a piece that I did using the designer with the quill pen. Same principle as I just did. The designer is the pure color or pigment mixed with the GM 300 glass color medium to an inky consistency. Use it with the pen just like I did on the color concentrate one. I am going to mix up and do one with the silk screen. So SSB, or SSW, excuse me, 102 silk screen white. It's an enamel. I've added more pigment to it. So you don't want to cap it unless you're just sifting over it. You can actually, I have another video that I did this. I used the same blue with the white and I used clove oil to mix it with. But for today, what I'm going to do is mix it. I've put some here in a little cup. I'm going to mix it with the GM 300. And so you just need to add that and start stirring it. And we need it thin enough that the pen can pick it up. You do need to kind of mush it against the side of whatever container. You could also mix it up on a glass tile and grind it so that you got it well mixed. And then just keep adding a few drops at a time. We'll try that and see. So I've just got another small piece here. So let's try do one over here and see. Okay, that seems to flow really nicely. So I think we'll be good with that. See how much easier that goes than what it did with the concentrate. It was a little bit, once I got it thinned down to a good consistency, it worked just fine. So constantly load, touch the glass, let the teeth of the nib open up, and that starts the flow of the product. Constantly turn your work as you're going. Sometimes you got to start slow, and then you can get a little bit faster. If you go really fast, you're going to end up with a thin line or skipping. So it's a good idea just to go fairly slow when you first start. And it really depends on the look that you're trying to achieve. So you're staying in contact with the glass. Okay. Let's pull some, so I'm adding just some more fine lines. And I will put this pattern up on a blog post on the Colors for Earth website, which is at the bottom of your screen. So depending, my reason for doing like all three of these was no matter what product you have, because it's like, oh, do I have to buy another product to do this? Not if you already have the silk screen, or if maybe you have the designer white, or you have the color concentrates. So depending on what you have, you can still do it. You may find one works better for you than the other. So I'm just constantly dipping into that mixture. So don't feel like you have to buy another product. It can be done. If you're unsure, send us an email or give us a call, and I'd be happy to help you figure out if you can do it with what you've got. Now, I will tell you that I would not use just the regular G series enamels, okay, because it has too much glass in it, and I find it's too gritty and it's hard to get it to flow. Can it be done? You can work at it, but you're not going to get, I don't find, for me personally, the nice crisp lines that you can get with these three products. But if that's all you've got, as far as the enamels, the G, the 300, then you could, it would probably work better if you mixed it with clove oil versus the medium, just because that's going to thin it down more. So give it a try. If it works for you, great. But if you're struggling, these may be some of the products you might want to try. And give it a test, see what you like the best, because one may work better than the other for you. All right, so this petal goes up. So I'm going to add a few more little lines here. This is like the back side of it. Okay. And like I did on this other big one, I did sign. So it's up to you if you want to sign your piece with this. The quill is great as far as signing. Isn't that pretty? So you could shrink this down and do just a small jewelry. I think it would be really great. So I'm just going to do P. McCoy. Okay, and I forgot to sign this guy. So while I've got this in here, I think I will go ahead and do that. The other thing I noticed, because I kind of ad-libbed, I did put these little circles at the top of the stamens. Yeah, I'm going to leave them off of these. I think it looks fine without it. So let's back that camera off. So as far as looking at them side by side prior to firing, you pretty much can't see a difference other than I did pick a darker blue. Thought I had the same blue, but I didn't. So just looking at them right now, you don't really see any difference in it. And then when we get it fired, so I'm going to sift between the two pieces of glass, and then I will sift over the top also. I'll take a picture of that so you can see how heavy it's done, and then we'll take a look at these later. I hope this helps you in making some decisions and showing you how you can use different products to do the same style or same technique, just maybe change the thickness of the product. Okay, so that was just short and sweet, but I thought it was to the point so that I didn't get sidetracked. Um, so, any questions that anybody has? It'll take a second for YouTube and everything to catch up with me. Um, so, Susan asked a great question. Which one do I prefer? I prefer the silkscreen personally. It's just, and I'm going to go to the overhead so that I can talk to you about some things and show you those. So the PDF I was referring to is on the blog, and there's categories on the blog: glass, ceramics, brushstrokes, acrylics. So just go to the glass. It'll take you to a page that has that photograph. And then there's a PDF that you can print out that has the pattern. I gave you a couple of sizes. You can reduce and enlarge it from there. I also gave you some good things to remember about each one of the products that I used. Okay. So, color concentrates and the designers are non enamel. What that means is it has no glass in it. Okay. It has no glass in it. That's why it's easier to work with on the pen. Okay. Now, color concentrates need to be capped to be food safe. Okay. Um, they also, you could use them on jewelry and not cap them, but make sure that you're going to that full fuse temperature, so that, because if someone took, let's say it was a plate that used utensils, if you took a knife and you did not, if you had the color concentrate on there and you started cutting or something, that could mar it, because this is a ceramic product and it's meant to go to anywhere up to 2167 degrees, and we're using it on glass. That's why you have to sift over it. So please print this sheet out, keep it, or download it to your computer, because it's going to give you some good points on each product, and that may help you determine what you're going to use. Can you print or write with this? Yeah, absolutely. I sign my name with it. So I've got my name here, and I did it on this one here. So absolutely. It just, whichever product you use to do that, make sure that you cap it. And when you cap it with but just sifting over it, say you've already got a piece of glass underneath. Now this had opaque blue. I had the clear, and I had it cut slightly smaller because it comes in a little bit. So I just sifted between, and I showed you that picture, and I sifted over the top, okay, for the silk screen. Well, for all of them. Okay. If you don't do it on the silk screen, you might have a little bit of a roughness to it because on the silk screen product, we do add more pigment. So the silk screen white or black, there's only the two colors, is the white enamel, but we've added a ton more pigment so that it stays. Because when you start thinning down the enamels, you're going to get very transparent with your color. So we've added more pigment to it, and I think that's why it works well. And that's my personal preference. You can mix these in little plastic containers. This was a few days ago that I did it. It's still liquid. We also have the little, I call them the ink jars because we came out with them with the ink technique. So there's 6 jars. You can buy them individually. And this has been mixed up for a long time. I just stirred it before I came on live. And it's nice because this is shallow, and you can get, instead of dipping and turning your pod or whatever you're using, but you've got to have enough of a puddle of color, whatever you're using, that you can get that little oval. Okay, let's see if you can see that. It's hard to see. You've got to be able to get that little oval on the top of there. You've got to get the color in it. Okay, so that's why these little jars, and they're not that expensive. Okay, so Britt is saying, when I said you turned it over, did you sift clear the same way? All I did was I had the blue glass. I put my clear glass, I sifted over that blue, put the clear on top of it, and then I sifted over the top of that. So if you go back on the video and you look at those page where I showed you that. Oh, well, I've got it right here on the paperwork. Duh. Sorry. So this is all sifted, and you can see that I sifted over the blue, and then I put it in the kiln, and then I sifted on top of the lines that I'd done with the quill pen, and then I set that on top of the other piece on the kiln. Okay, so I did them in 2 separate steps. You could do them and then take them, but I found that it tends to slide. I slid a little bit on this one. Not that it makes that much difference. I went to a full fuse on it, so it didn't make that much of a difference. Can you tint the silk screen white to make more colors? That is a great question, Kristen. I have to say I've never done that. You could probably add some of the designers to it. Yes, my gut tells me that. Now you're going to make me test that. The designers are a pure pigment, okay? But for instance, here's most of the colors. The white is not on here, or the black is not on here either. But this shows you the quill pen with all those different colors. And you may want to make yourself something like this. Take the pattern I gave you and make you just a little snippet so that you have a reference on the intensity and how it fires. Okay, now this one I did on white glass. I had a pattern underneath it, but I was on a light board so that I could see my lines. It would come through enough that you could see it, and then I put a clear over the top of it. Okay, when you move really fast, you get fine lines. If you do consistent or slower, you're going to have more of the same size lines. So you can see, like here where I went really fast, so I have broken lines or very fine. Where are the instructions? Charlene says. So when you go to the Colors for Earth website, and actually I'll show you right now, it'll make it easier. So on the Colors for Earth website, under the blog, go to Glass Techniques. And right there is this photograph of the ones we just did. And you click on that page, and it shows you I put it all here But right here is the PDF. It says download PDF pattern and information. So all you got to do is click on that. It will open the PDF. I don't want to do that because I don't want to take the chance of it messing things up. Okay. And below here is going to be, the video will play right there. I try to do that on anything that I create a blog on, is attach the video right there so you don't have to go searching for it back and forth. So you can bookmark that page. Okay. All right. So this just shows you the colors. We did come out with pink after I did this. So you've got 16 colors as far as the designers. But yes, Kristen, back to your question. I think I would add just a little bit of the color. It's a dry pigment, okay? And it comes in ½ ounce and 1 ounce, or 14 grams and 28 grams. And you can see, here's not every color, but there's all different colors. So the red, and they pretty much look like they are. Of course, the plastic, tones that down a little bit. But other than, the purple is a little bit brighter. See the difference in that? You can tell. So, but almost what you see is what you get. Okay. If you are practicing with the quill pen, absolutely. What was the question? The instructions. So 2 firing. No, I did. All of these are done with 1 firing, Kim. 1 firing. So blue glass on the bottom, sift, put your design work that's unclear, sift on top of it first, and then put it on top of there and full fuse it. Can you do it in multiple firings? You could if you wanted to. Especially if you mix the silk screen with clove oil, okay, and you can buy clove oil anywhere, or Amazon is a good resource always. A lot of people don't like clove oil because it stinks, or maybe they can't be around it. This is one I've had with the black, and I've had it mixed up forever. It does need a little more. You can see it's kind of gummy right now, but it depends on whether you can stand the smell of it. And then the problem is when you're using clove oil, it's going to stay open and wet forever. You would have to put it in the kiln. I mean, I tested it years ago and I just let it sit there to see how long it was going to take to dry, and it never dried. So you could put it in the kiln and then go up to like 250, or you could even, I guess, put it in your oven and dry it that way before. But on the silk screen white, I would only sift over it. I wouldn't cap it because there's so much pigment that you could have more bubbles with it. Okay. Okay, so Susan says, and you can mix the designers to make colors, right? I think so. I have not done it, Susan, but I bet you're going to be on that tonight probably because you're in California. I can test that later, but I don't know why you couldn't. Okay, what I would do is I would mix liquid to liquid. So go ahead and mix up your silkscreen in a container, mix up your designer in another container, and then in a separate one, start with your silkscreen and slowly add your color to it. Okay, that's how you start mixing dry into liquid and you get marbleization. You don't get a solid color mix. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, let me check for other. Okay, so yeah, so the older quill pens we had, the handles changed constantly, guys. The newer ones are this. So what we do is we have 2 different size nibs, the 512 and the 99. So large and small. I can tell you that I only use the larger one, but the small one's there if you want it. The nibs fit into the top. You just pull them out, and there's like that little circle there, and you tuck it in there and start going. Okay, so that's how that works. These are like $7.99, really dirt cheap. So those are on the website. I know somebody asked me the pattern you can just tape down. Okay, roll over a piece of tape, put it on there, and then go to town with it. Okay, so depending on the color of glass you put it on, that's going to make a difference too. I think I had, and I didn't redo this, but my silkscreen white was thinned down a little too much, and it's on a lighter blue. If it had been on this darker blue, it's going to stand out more. So you've got designer, you've got concentrate, and then you've got silkscreen. Okay, the silkscreen comes in 3 sizes. You've got 4 ounce, 2 ounce, and 1 ounce size. Okay, so it comes available in that. And like I said, we do have the silkscreen black also. The designers, when you buy those, we send you little spoons because it does kind of get onto everything. So you can use the little spoon to dip that out. The color concentrates come in 1 ounce and 2 ounce. Here's a 1 ounce size, but it goes a long way. So if you're just starting, just do the small bottle. And then if it's a color you like and you use a lot, then go on up to the other one. Okay. All right. Let me look for questions. I don't see any other questions. Do you guys have anything else? So basically you need designers, you have to cap. Okay. So these guys you have to cap because they're being mixed with the glass medium once, and they're a pure pigment. Okay. So when you're mixing these, once the medium burns off, there is nothing to hold that. It will literally wipe off if you do not cap it. So you need to cap it with a sheet of clear or even a transparent, and then or you can sift over it, either one, depending on. So if you're doing jewelry and you've got just, a single layer of glass and you don't want the bulkiness or the heaviness to it, just sift over it and you'll have a nice lightweight pendant. Okay. Any other questions you guys can think of? So don't forget to go download your pattern. If you missed it, I want to show you my piece that I am in total love with. This is my new iris. This is glass, same color. So I used white glass and I did a prismatic textured sand base with white enamel, sand, and layering mix. And then I came back and used color concentrates and designers and my Sumi brushes to do all that work. This is a downloadable. It's on sale. It's $24.95, retails at $45. So you can download the pattern, all the different product sheets, and the video is available on the website. Just type in blue iris or just type in iris and you can find that. This was a challenge piece that we did in the Lawaga group. If you're not familiar with that, Teresa asked me to be her partner and she did a stained glass and I did this one. She talked me into it because she said, hey, I picked you a flower. And I said, oh, you really wanted to be my partner. So anyway, it was fun to see how each one of us did a final result. So Kim says, oh, wow, I'm in love with it too. Yeah, I kind of outdid myself. It's probably the most complicated piece. Not complicated, just lots of detail, because you're talking all these little tiny fine lines on here. And a lot of that is done with the tip of the Sumi brush, believe it or not. And then I did use a rake and I did use a liner to enhance some of that. But it's kind of cool. All right. Any other questions? Thank you, Stacy. Thanks, Kristen. All right, let me switch back to me. All right, guys. So do you have any last minute questions on those products? So I think it just depends on what you have. Can you use it? So you can use those non-enamels. You can use, they asked, earlier, can you use the G series? Okay. Or the GS, any of those. I wouldn't, because they have so much glass in them that it's hard to get them to come through the nib. If you're going to try it, clove oil will probably be the best for you because it stays open longer, where our medium tends to dry things in a not quick, but quicker than what clove oil is going to be. Um, so test it. You may find you like it. I struggled too much with it, and I'm a one and done. I want to get it on, get it finished. I got other things I got to do. And especially if you're doing production things or shows, I would think you would be doing the same. So maybe tinting the silk screen. I'm going to have to play with that now. Paint motion pressure. You're funny, Kim. We didn't do any brush strokes. Uh, Oh, Teresa says the iris is even more amazing in person. She got to see that a while back. So yeah, you like the bowl, Stacy? It was just a fun way to show, all the colors and everything. So all right. So as far as next week, I will do my best to be on. Most of you know my mom is here with me right now, and so it kind of just depends on what's happening in that world. So be patient with me. I'm trying my best to get back on and do things. It's just hard to juggle everything when you're one person. So as far as the ceramics, you guys tell me what you want to see next time. Stacy, if you have any suggestions of a technique, whatever, let me know and I'll get something thrown together. You know me, I'm the procrastinator. I work better under pressure. So, and I'm going to do my best to be at the Missouri show. I think they're calling it the Branson show, West Plains. I'm not sure though whether that's going to make. So that is in July. I think it's the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And we're doing 2024 in case you're watching this at a different time. I will be at the Wisconsin show that Mike Harbridge is doing, and I can pop that up. I know other teachers added, but if you're in that area and you're wanting to do workshops, it's mostly ceramic pottery. I'm not doing any glass classes this year, but I am doing other classes, and I'm hoping that those will be up on the website really soon. Okay. So take that, if you're in that area and you can get there, it's a great way to meet a lot of different teachers from the industry and different styles, different techniques. There's everything there. I mean, anything and everything you can think of. And it's always been a great show. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you, Miss Kim. Yeah, so try it with clove oil. Try it with the medium. See what you like. Everybody is different. It may work better for you. It could depend on the pen you've got. But it is a great way. You can do it on one side. When it dries, flip it over and paint the back with your enamels. Do two color blending and then sandwich the enamel between glass and then just sift over the top for a thin coating. Okay. All right, guys. I will see you next week. God willing. Okay. All right. Take care. Thank you for joining me. Have a great week.